the Ḥanbalī scholars, they were not agreed upon in every single ruling. So there were اختلافات, differences within the Ḥanbalī madhab itself. So how do we determine which opinion is the madhab? So that's what we're going to talk about here. Before explaining how the Muḥtamad is determined, it should first be clarified that the books around which tasḥīḥ verification revolves are three. Keep that in mind. Three. All of which are authored by Al-Mardawi. Al-Mardawi. So first off, we have Al-Insāf fi Ma'rifat al-Rājih min al-Khilāf. So this was the first of his books he authored in regards to tasḥīḥ. And then we have Tasḥīḥ al-Furūዕ, which was later than Al-Insāf. And then we have At-Tanqīḥ al-Mushbiዕ fi Taḥrīr Ahkām al-Muqniዕ, which was the last of his books he authored in regards to tasḥīḥ. Right? He followed Al-Mardawi, he followed the path of the Mujtahid scholars who precisely refined the madhab of Imam Ahmad. What he verified and relied upon became the madhab upon which the later Hanabila relied. So thereafter, know that the Muḥtamad of the madhab is that ruling which is agreed upon by the two books, Al-Muntaha and Al-Iqna'. Al-Muntaha, Muntaha al-Iradat and Al-Iqna'. So these two books, Al-Muntaha and Al-Iqna', if they agree on a ruling, then that's the Muḥtamad. That's the madhab. That's the Ḥanbalī madhab. So what if they differ? What if the two books, Al-Muntaha and Al-Iqna', they differ regarding a ruling? So then comes tarjīḥ between Al-Muntaha and Al-Iqna'. Tarjīḥ between Al-Muntaha and Al-Iqna', preference between them both. So the later scholars have differed regarding which of the two books should be given precedence when they disagree. The most well-known views on the matter are as follows. Okay, number one, the first view is that the Muḥtamad is what is agreed upon by At-Tanqīḥ, Al-Muntaha, and Al-Iqna'. If they differ, then the Muḥtamad is what is agreed upon by Al-Muntaha and Al-Iqna'. If they differ, then the Muḥtamad is what is found in Al-Muntaha, as it is considered the most precise in fiqh compared to the other two. This is the view favored by Ali ibn Muhammad al-Hindi al-Ḥanbalī, who died in the year 1419 after Hijrah. In his book Al-Madhab عند الحنابلة, titled مقدمة البيان في بيان المصطلحات الفقهية. So that's the first view. First view is that the Muḥtamad is what is agreed upon by At-Tanqīḥ, Al-Muntaha, and Al-Iqna'. If they differ, then the Muḥtamad is what is agreed upon by Al-Muntaha and Al-Iqna'. If they also differ, then the Muḥtamad is what is found in Al-Muntaha. This is the first view. Second view is that the Muḥtamad is what was chosen by the author of Al-Muntaha. Right. The third view is that the Muḥtamad is what Mar'i al-Karumi preferred in Ghayatul Muntaha. It is said that this was also the advice of Muhammad as-Safarini to one of his students, as he said, follow what is in Al-Iqna' and Al-Muntaha, and if they differ, then look at what is preferred by the author of Ghayatul Muntaha. I have not seen for this statement, however, a source. But it is well known, though. It's well known and it is widely circulated among the scholars. Know also that this statement is not absolute. Whoever examines the words of Al-Khalwati and Al-Najdi in their marginal notes will not find that the preferences of the author of Ghayatul Muntaha receive significant attention, nor do they rely on them in determining tarjīḥ between the two books. What also poses a problem for this is that the author of Ghayatul Muntaha sometimes prefers an opinion contrary to what al-Iqna' and al-Muntaha agreed upon, saying in opposition to both of them. So that's so he's going away from both books. What also poses a problem for this is that not everything he preferred between them indicates an actual disagreement between them. Sometimes he gives preference in matters where there is no real disagreement between al-Iqna' and al-Muntaha. Additionally, he did not provide preference in all the issues where they differed. Rather, he missed some issues in which they disagreed and did not make a preference. Moreover, at times he gives preference in matters that the author of Al-Muntaha did not mention at all. Subhanallah. So these are the most well-known views of the later scholars regarding, determining the Muḥtamad. The three views we mentioned, we talked about, right? So, what is most correct is that Al-Muntaha is given precedence over Al-Iqna', while also taking At-Tanqih into account. At-Tanqih al-Mushbi' by Al-Mardawi, which was the last of his books. Remember, the last of his books he authored in regards to Tasheeh. That's why we rely on it. And in At-Tanqih, Al-Mardawi, he did differ in what he said previously. Right, so it's the last of his books in regards to Tasheeh. And consideration should also be given to the preferences of Mar'i al-Karmi, as well as the selections of the three scholars, Mansur al-Buhuti, Muḥammad al-Khalwati, and Uthman al-Najdi. Right. Because these three scholars dealt extensively with the issues in Al-Iqna' and Al-Muntaha. Imam Mansur al-Buhuti, he frequently gives preference in Al-Manh al-Shafiyat by citing Al-Iqna', Al-Muntaha, and At-Tanqih. Right. Imam Mansur al-Buhuti wrote marginal notes on both Al-Muntaha and Al-Iqna', and he provided a thorough commentary for both, revisiting their issues. So al-Buhuti, he authored a commentary on Al-Iqna' titled كشاف القناع عن متن الإقناع, and he also authored a sharh on Al-Muntaha titled دقائق أولي النهى. Right. So he revisited their issues repeatedly and frequently cited the three authentication books, Al-Insaf, Tasheeh al-Furu', and At-Tanqih. Al-Khalwati wrote two valuable marginal notes on Al-Muntaha and Al-Iqna'. Uthman al-Najdi, he authored a significant marginal note on Al-Muntaha, and he frequently referenced Al-Iqna'. So the point is that these scholars, they were the most engaged with the issues of Al-Muntaha and Al-Iqna', making them the most knowledgeable regarding their content. Thus, the reference for weighing between the two books should be their assessments. They rarely leave Al-Muntaha, and when they do, it is for specific reasons that necessitate preferring Al-Iqna' over it. Al-Mardawi, he said in Al-Insaf, "Know, may Allah have mercy upon you, that when there is a difference in preference among the companions, in the scholars of the method, it is based on the strength of the evidence on both sides. Each of those who hold such an opinion is an imam to be followed. So it is permissible to make taqleed of him and act upon his view. This is in most cases considered the madhab of his imam, because if the disagreement originates from al-Imam Ahmad himself, then it is clear. However, if the disagreement is among the companions, then it is assessed in light of his principles, foundations, and explicit statements. Know also that giving precedence to Al-Muntaha does not contradict what Ahmad ibn Awad transmitted from Uthman al-Najdi, where he said the the explicit statement of al-Muntaha is given a precedence over the explicit statement of al-Iqna', and the explicit statement of al-Iqna' is given precedence over the implicit meaning of al-Muntaha, while the implicit meaning of al-Muntaha is given precedence over the implicit meaning of al-Iqna'. So the explicit statement takes precedence over the implicit meaning as stated by the scholars of usul. So we're going to talk about the summary now. Summary. Know that if al-Muntaha and al-Iqna' agree on the ruling of an issue, then this is bila shak, undoubtedly, the Muḥtamad. And if one of them mentions an issue while the other does not, then the Muḥtamad follows the one that mentions it. Important. When there is differing, the Muḥtamad is generally what is stated in al-Muntaha, while also considering at-Tanqih, the preferences of Ghayat al-Muntaha, and the views of the three scholars, al-Buhuti, al-Khalwati, and al-Najdi.